I've got a really stylish, classy card to show you today with a new technique I don't think I've shown before. It's the Sparkle Texture Paste. It gives you a really beautiful look through a mask. So to introduce the products we're going to be using, I have the 3D Dotty bow, and I'm using that with the classic bow. Show you both of those together. I'm also going to be using the frames and tag, the Dainty oval frame and the Dainty rectangular frame. And the border on the card today is from the New York collection, border, corner, and tag. And to emboss a little bit of our background, we're going to be using the knotted Trellis 3D embossing folder. I think we'll start right in with the texture paste. I've gone ahead and I have taped a mask, our large polka dot mask, to a piece of soft gray card. And I've used a bit of removable tape all the way around this. You just have to take care that your tape doesn't overlap your pattern anywhere, okay? So this is the Cosmic Shimmer Sparkle Texture Paste, and this is the gunmetal gray. I love the way the tone on tone looks. So I've gone for the gray texture paste onto the gray card. Now I'm going to use a palette knife for this, and I'm just going to blend it up a little bit, get a bit on my knife, and spread it all over. And work from one end to the other. A little bit more, pushing it down into the mask, dragging it across. And let's get this top corner. There we go. Catch all your little holes there. Make sure it's all nice and covered, and you can take away your extra bit. And put it back into your jar. Okay. There. Now, let me move this out of the way, put our lid back on. And very carefully, we're going to peel this up, taking our tape away, which we're not going to use again because we've got paste all over it. We get a couple of sides here. And one more right there. Oop. And lift your mask away, and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful background. Now this is wet, so this will have to be set aside to dry, probably for several hours to make sure it's good and dry. You don't want to heat this with a heat tool. It will bubble, unless that's the look you're going for, which is kind of interesting sometimes. But for this one, I want to leave it to dry. So I've done one ahead of time, and I've cut it to size, just exactly how I want it. Good and dry. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, let me tidy this up and get it out of our way, and take any bits off of our mat here. There we go. Okay, so next I'm going to do a little bit of embossing, and I'm going to be using the knotted trellis. And I just want to do a little bottom piece, which is nice. You can take and use any size card you want in the larger folders, so you don't have to worry about, it not doing the whole thing or doing a whole big, huge piece. You can do as little or as much as you need. Try and get that centered right there. Bring my plates in for my sandwich. I'm going to use the gray base plate for the bottom, my folder with the card, and then I'm going to top this with the raspberry adapter plate. And this will go through my grand caliber quite easily. If you have a different machine, there are sandwiches on the Creative Expressions website, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to use. There we go. See how beautiful embossed that is. Isn't that lovely? It really comes out nice. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape and get this down on the bottom part of my card. Oops, had a little extra pearl there. Okay, pop this into place. Let me try and center that so it's nice and even. There we go. And I can go ahead, and I've cut one of the New York borders, just taken about 3 sections. I'm going to use a little bit of glue on this. I like it when I have 2 different pieces that come together. I like to put a border there just to kind of soften that hard edge you get. Put a little bit of glue here and just make sure I can tack that down nicely. There's some little curly cues on this one that you can catch. Okay. And we will run this right down the center and trim the edges off. Let's see, right about there looks even to me. Give that a second to really catch the glue and hold it in place. And then I'm going to use some scissors just to nip away the edges right along the edge of the card. There we go. So the base is coming along nicely now. I've gone ahead and done a larger base for my card with my pierced edge, something I love to do. And I have done this technique in many of the videos, so you will see it. And I'm going to go ahead and put this into place, like that. And we'll start to work on our focal element. Now, I've used the Dainty oval frame here, and I've used the center cutting rectangle to take the center out, make it into a frame. And I've used the rectangle frame here with the same thing. And I've added just a tiny bit of mounting foam to the back, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's a very thin piece, but there's enough room there on that frame that you can add it in. I'm going to layer these up because they look really pretty together. I'm going to put this one right on this one here, and I'm just going to lean over and make sure I'm straight, like that. So you've got a really pretty decorative frame with a little bit of dimension to it. And I've added some extra mounting foam on the back of this one in the same place. And just peel this off. And because I'm going to be putting it onto that sparkle texture background that's got glitter, I'm going to add a bit of glue to it and let it just set up for a second while we do some more. Put a little bit of a bead all the way around that mounting foam. So I've got the dimension from the foam, but the glue will help it stay in place. So I'm going to leave that for the moment, and we're going to do a bit of cutting. So let me get the plates I need. Right. So I've gone ahead and stamped my sentiment, and I'm going to use the little tag that comes in the center of the rectangular frame. And I'm just going to line this in place and tape it. There we go. In fact, I'll use that piece to make sure it's straight top and bottom. And we're going to pop this into our grand caliper to cut it. So. Now, one of the things I like to do with this tag is make it symmetrical, because it's very, very easy to do, first of all, and it gives you a different option. The tag doesn't always have to be a one-sided tag. You can cut it, pop it out, there we go, and do a second one and put them on top of each other. And I love the way this looks, especially in the middle of a frame. Easy peasy to do. So I've got one of the little decorative pieces going that direction, and the other one's going to go this way. So let me just layer these up, get them right in line with each other. So see how it changes the look of that completely once you've added the second one to it. Really cute, I think. All right, let's put this one on our card. I think our glue is set up long enough. We're just going to kind of eyeball it in the center here. Give it a little bit of pressure so it'll hold. And when that glue dries, it'll be nice and strong. I've added some mounting foam here, the back of our sentiment, and it fits really nicely inside of that frame. There we go. I think there's enough mounting foam to catch the background on that one. And the last thing I'm going to do is put a little bow on. I went ahead and did this ahead of time. I've got the gray card that matches our background cut with the classic 3D bow, and then the Dotty 3D bow is cut out of the white. I put them on top of each other and form my bow. And I think I'll put this on with a glue dot in the center. And I'll put a little bit of glue on the edges of the back of the bow, and that will hold it nicely in place. and set that right down into the center of my border. Really nicely added little extra feature. And there we go. How easy is that? And you could do that in any color. The sparkle texture paste comes in so many different beautiful colors. So if you're not into the gunmetal, you might want to use the rose or the copper or the gold, any of the others. They're absolutely beautiful, but I hope you'll give it a try. It's a really fun technique.